The internet is exploding. Right now, as you watch this, social media feeds are being flooded with a single, haunting image. The King of the South, T.I., head buried in his hands, shoulders shaking in a way we have never seen from the man who once defined Atlanta's untouchable swagger. Hollywood is whispering in hushed, terrified tones about a courtroom scene that sounds more like a Shakespearean tragedy than a modern legal proceeding. Something darker may be unfolding beneath the surface of the grand hustle empire, and the world is struggling to catch its breath. What started as a simple rumor, a series of whispers about legal trouble and bad boy behavior, may now be something much bigger, something that could change the landscape of hip-hop royalty forever. According to online speculation that is moving faster than the news cycle can track, the unthinkable has happened. Some insiders claim the atmosphere inside the courtroom was cold, suffocating, and heavy with the scent of finality. Unverified reports suggest that the judge, tired of the repeat offenses and the perceived mockery of the justice system, decided to make an example out of the heir to the throne. Fans believe we are witnessing the literal disintegration of a dynasty in real time. We've seen the videos of the outbursts, the arguments, and the bravado, but no one, absolutely no one, was prepared for the rumors currently circulating. The claim? That King Harris, the boisterous, often controversial son of T.I. Harris, has been handed a sentence that effectively ends his life as a free man. Is it possible? Could a young man with every resource at his fingertips truly have reached a point of no return? The streets are talking, the fans are mourning, and the silence from the Harris camp is deafening. This isn't just about a court case anymore. This is about the soul of a family. To understand how we got to this shattering moment, we have to go back to the beginning. Back to when the Harris family was the gold standard for black excellence and hip-hop royalty. T.I., the self-proclaimed King of the South, didn't just build a music career, he built a fortress. He was the man who survived the streets of Bankhead to become a global icon, a philosopher king who spoke with a vocabulary as expansive as his influence. Beside him was Tiny, a legend in her own right from the RB group Xscape. Together, they invited us into their home through the family hustle, showing us a world of luxury, discipline, and deep-seated love. They weren't just celebrities. They were the parents we all watched to see how to balance the hustle with the home. In the center of this orbit was King Harris. From the moment he appeared on screen, he was a firebrand. He had his father's eyes and his father's quick-witted tongue, but he also had a raw, unfiltered energy that seemed at odds with the polished world his parents had created. The public image of the Harris family was one of unbreakable unity. We saw the private jets, the lavish birthday parties, and the stern but loving lectures T.I. would deliver to his children. It appeared perfect. It appeared bulletproof. T.I. was the mentor, the guide, the man who had seen the inside of a cell and vowed his children never would. He was the cautionary tale turned success story. But slowly, almost imperceptibly at first, cracks began to form in the narrative. As King grew older, the family hustle persona began to clash with the reality of a young man trying to find his own identity in the shadow of a giant. We started seeing the IG lives that went off the rails. We saw the confrontations in Waffle Houses and the heated arguments with his parents that were broadcast to millions. The world watched as King tried to prove he was about that life, a phrase that seemed to haunt the comment sections. Fans began to wonder, was this just youthful rebellion, or was it a cry for help? T.I. often defended his son, citing the boy's spirit and his need to navigate his own path, but the public started to see a disconnect. The discipline of the King of the South seemed to be failing against the tidal wave of his son's defiance. The image of the perfect family began to flicker like a dying light bulb. Every time King was spotted in a situation that looked street, the internet would erupt. People questioned why a kid with millions in the bank was acting like he was still on the corner. The criticism was harsh, but the loyalty of the fans remained. They wanted to believe the Harris family could fix anything. They wanted to believe that T.I.'s wisdom could bridge the gap between his son's reality and the dangers of the world. But behind the scenes, some insiders claimed the tension was reaching a breaking point. The transition from a cute, outspoken kid on a reality show to a young man facing serious legal scrutiny was happening in the blink of an eye, and the world was watching the train wreck in slow motion. Then came the escalation. the phase where the whispers turned into a roar. It wasn't just one incident. It was a cascade of alleged leaks and social media firestorms that kept the gossip blogs running 24 hours a day. Unverified reports began to circulate about a series of events that went far beyond typical teenage mischief. We are talking about alleged incidents that suggested a pattern of behavior the legal system simply doesn't ignore. According to online rumors, there were wrappers on legal documents that suggested King was facing charges far more severe than the public was led to believe. Social media became a battlefield of theories. On TikTok and X, detectives in the comment sections began piecing together King's location data, his cryptic posts about staying down, and the sudden disappearance of his usual bravado. Some fans think he was being lured into a lifestyle that was designed to trap him, while others argued he was simply a victim of his own ego. Industry whispers suggested that T.I. was working overtime behind the scenes, calling in every favor, hiring the best legal minds, and trying to negotiate a path that didn't end in a cage. But reportedly, the system had seen enough. The escalation reached a fever pitch when an alleged video surfaced, blurred, shaky, and unconfirmed, showing what some believed to be a high-stakes police encounter. While there was no confirmed evidence that this specific event was the catalyst, it fueled the fire. The narrative was no longer about a misunderstood kid. It was about a legal crisis. Some fans pointed to the way T.I.'s own social media tone shifted from boastful and educational to somber and reflective. Every story he posted was scrutinized for a hidden meaning. Was he mourning a loss? Was he preparing for a battle he knew he couldn't win? The theories got wilder. Some suggested that this was a targeted effort to take down the Harris legacy, a way to humble the man who had sat at the top for so long. Others believed it was a simple case of playing stupid games and winning stupid prizes. But regardless of the why, the what was becoming terrifying. The escalation wasn't just about King. It was about the potential fall of the entire Grand Hustle house. If the prince fell, what would happen to the king? The internet was a powder keg, and the match was about to be lit by a single courtroom appearance that would change everything. The emotional breakdown happened in front of the entire world, and it was devastating. It started with a viral live stream moment, not from King, but from someone allegedly close to the situation. The camera was shaky, the person was crying, and the words "life sentence" were uttered for the first time. The internet didn't just react, it imploded. A cryptic social media post appeared on T.I.'s official page shortly after. A black square, no caption, just a void that seemed to suck the oxygen out of the room. It was followed by a deleted tweet from a family member that simply read, "God, give us strength." The tension in the digital space was palpable. Trending topics weren't about music or fashion. They were about a father's grief. Fans began sharing old clips of T.I. and King from The Family Hustle, contrasting the happy, laughing child with the grim reality of the present. The emotional weight of the situation started to sink in. We weren't just looking at a headline. We were looking at a family being torn apart at the seams. Some fans reported seeing T.I. leaving a building in Atlanta, looking aged by 100 years, his trademark confidence replaced by a hollowed-out stare. In the middle of this, a deleted video from King's own account surfaced, a video where he seemed to realize the gravity of his situation. He wasn't yelling, he wasn't flashing money, and he wasn't acting tough. He looked like a boy who had finally realized that the walls were closing in. The heartbreak in the comment sections was a mix of "I told you so" and genuine sorrow. Even those who had criticized King for years couldn't help but feel a pang of empathy for a father watching his son's life vanish behind a gavel. The emotional breakdown wasn't just a moment, it was a movement. It was the collective realization that fame, money, and power have a limit, and that limit is often the iron bars of a cell. As the news, or the rumor of it, spread, the industry reaction was swift and chilling. Usually, when a celebrity is in trouble, you see the "free him" posts and the outpourings of support from fellow artists. But this time, the industry went silent. Major brands that had once clamored to be associated with the Harris name reportedly began scrubbing their associations. Public figures who were once fixtures at the Harris household started posting cryptic quotes about reaping what you sow or the importance of parenting. The unfollows were tracked by eagle-eyed fans. Names that were synonymous with T.I.'s circle suddenly vanished from his following list. It was a cold, calculated distancing that suggested the situation was even more dire than the public knew. Media silence followed. The big outlets weren't touching it yet, likely waiting for official confirmation, but the silence itself spoke volumes. In the world of PR, silence is often the sound of a ship sinking. Some observed that the usual grand hustle energy was gone. The artists on the label weren't promoting music, they weren't posting studio sessions. It was as if the entire city of Atlanta was holding its breath. This wasn't just a PR crisis, it was an existential threat to the brand. The observation was clear. The industry was preparing for the post-Harris era. They were watching to see if T.I. could pull off one last miracle, or if the King of the South was about to be dethroned by the actions of his own blood. But then, something happened that no one saw coming. Just as the narrative seemed set in stone, just as the world was ready to write the final chapter on King Harris, a new voice entered the conversation. Out of nowhere, a resurfaced clip from years ago began to circulate, but it wasn't a clip of King. It was a clip of a high-ranking legal official talking about a specific program for high-profile offenders. A twist began to emerge in the fan theories. What if the life sentence wasn't what it seemed? According to a new wave of speculation, the handing down of the sentence was a staged moment of scared straight, on a level the world has never seen. Some insiders began to whisper that the judge and T.I. had orchestrated a massive, public lesson, a way to finally break through to King by showing him exactly what his future looked like. The theory suggests that the tears T.I. shed were real, but they were tears of a father who had reached the absolute end of his rope and had to resort to the most extreme measure possible to save his son's soul. Wait, is that even possible? Could the legal system be used as a theatrical tool for a celebrity's child? Or was this just a coping mechanism for fans who couldn't accept the reality? A new witness, claiming to have been in the gallery, posted a thread saying the judge's words were, "I am sentencing you to a life of accountability." This resurfaced clip and the subsequent witness reports changed the entire vibe of the controversy. The twist sent the internet into a fresh frenzy. Was it a legal reality or a desperate father's last-ditch effort to perform a public exorcism of his son's demons? Suddenly, the life sentence headline took on a new meaning. People started debating the ethics of such a move. If it was a fake sentence meant to scare him, was it a genius parenting move or an abuse of the court's time? If it was real, then the tragedy was final. The shift in conversation was jarring. One minute we were mourning a lost life, and the next, we were questioning the very nature of the show we were watching. The drama had moved from a courtroom to a psychological thriller. Is this the end of the Harris legacy, or just the beginning of a painful new chapter? Was it all love, a father's desperate attempt to save his child, or was it a cold, calculated strategy to protect a brand from further damage? As of this moment, the truth remains locked behind the doors of the Harris estate and the chambers of the court. The images of T.I. in tears will haunt the internet for years to come, serving as a reminder that no amount of royalty can protect you from the consequences of the real world. What do you think? Did the judge truly hand down a life sentence to King Harris? Or are we witnessing the most elaborate lesson in hip-hop history? Is King a victim of the system, or a victim of his own choices? And most importantly, can T.I. ever truly reclaim his crown after this? The comments are open, and the world is waiting to hear your side of the story. Don't forget to like and subscribe as we continue to track this breaking story. The empire is shaking, and the fallout is only just beginning.